Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
February 11, 1900 America, New York. Asia's superpower does not always collect its debts on time. 39 developing countries have delayed repayment to China since 2000. February 11, 1900 America, New York. The promise of former Eastern-bloc economies is mostly unfulfilled. But those that joined the EU have done much better than the rest. February 11, 7:02 America, New York. Omicron stalled Britain's economic recovery in December. Still, the impact was milder than feared and the country's economy grew 7.5% in 2021, the fastest pace in 8 decades. Morecambe, a seaside town in northwest England. February 11, 7 o'clock America, New York. Traders crank up bets of aggressive Fed action to combat hot inflation. Markets price in potential for jumbo March rate rise or first increase between meetings since 1994. February 11, 7 o'clock America, New York. Roomba maker needs to suck up more chips. iRobot's shares slide as supply constraints hurt growth and margins, but ambitious long-term targets remain. February 11, 6:41 America, New York. Zillow, Affirm, GoDaddy, Zendesk. What to watch when the stock market opens today. Zillow's results showed a loss tied to its now shuttered home flipping business. Zendesk has received takeover approaches. February 11, 6:22 America, New York. Apollo nears $2.3 billion deal for Worldline's terminal business. The buyout giant is nearing a deal to acquire the point-of-sale terminal business of European payments company Worldline for close to $2.3 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. February 11, 6:22 America, New York. Apollo nears $2.3 billion deal for Worldline's terminal business. The buyout giant is nearing a deal to acquire the point-of-sale terminal business of European payments company Worldline for close to $2.3 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. February 11, 6:03 America, New York. Russia raises rates as threat of sanctions looms. Russia's central bank raised its key interest rate in response to stubbornly high inflation and the threat of Western sanctions targeted at the country's financial system. February 11, 6 o'clock America, New York. Central Bank of Russia hikes 100 basis points to 9.5%, open to further hikes. The Central Bank of Russia raised its key rate to 9.5% but remains open to further hikes, if needed, despite a lower inflation forecast of around 5 or 6% for 2022. February 11, 5:33 America, New York. The stock market hasn't looked this cheap in nearly 2 years. The year's top-performing S&P 500 sectors are those that ended 2021 with the lowest price-to-earnings ratios. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. Why your airport may no longer resemble a luxury mall. Even after air passengers return in big numbers, expensive brands have fewer reasons to rush back to travel hubs. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. Financial restatements expected to drop off after 2021 SPOC surge. In last year's frenzied SPOC market, the SEC required restatements for warrants and certain shares incorrectly accounted for. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. Why your car might be worth more today than when you bought it. The surge in used car prices is undoing years of depreciation on some models, leaving some car owners with vehicles worth more now than when bought. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. You got richer during the pandemic. Early retirement is still risky. Red-hot stocks and real estate convinced many people to start their golden years sooner. People forget that markets go down. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. Why your airport may no longer resemble a luxury mall. Even after air passengers return in big numbers, expensive brands have fewer reasons to rush back to travel hubs. February 11, 5:30 America, New York. Echoes of the wage price spiral of the 1970s. The economy has changed in a number of ways over the past half-century, but there's still a risk that inflationary dynamics can re-emerge. February 11, 5:25 America, New York. Investors bet Ukraine-Russia war will be averted. Russian troops are continuing to build up on the Ukrainian border, but investors are piling into bets that there won't be a war, with the currencies of both countries having strengthened in recent days. February 11. 5:18 America New York, Spain relaxes COVID restrictions for UK teenagers. From Monday, unvaccinated British 12 to 17-year-olds will be allowed into Spain with a negative test. February 11. 5:08 America New York, OPEC supply issues risk heightening oil market volatility. Chronic oil supply issues among a group of major producing nations threaten to increase tightness and volatility in the energy market and push prices higher still, the International Energy Agency said. February 11. 5 o'clock America New York, economics should never waste a good crisis. The dismal science learns the most on those occasions when things go very wrong. February 11. 4:40 America New York, chip famine is a feast for China's SMIC. Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp., China's largest foundry, is bringing in record revenue but spending big, too. February 11. 4 o'clock America New York, USD, ZAR forecast. Rand fights back post-CPI and Bullard. The Rand opened stronger this morning after yesterday's dollar rally and weaker commodity prices. USD, ZAR tests 15.00 ahead of U.S. consumer confidence. February 11. 3:35 America New York, stock futures, Treasury yields edge down. U.S. stock futures ticked lower, pointing to major Wall Street indexes extending a sell-off that came after data showed inflation hitting a new four-decade high. February 11. 3 o'clock America New York, Biden moves to split $7 billion in frozen Afghan funds. The president intends to use the Afghan central bank's assets to fund humanitarian relief in Afghanistan and compensate victims of the September 11, 2001, attacks. The Afghan Central Bank, known as Da Afghanistan Bank, in Kabul, Afghanistan. February 11. 2:29 America New York, UK economy withstands Omicron blow. December GDP falls less than economists expected as health sector grows. February 11. 2:24 America New York, UK growth slows in Q4 GBP, USD nudges higher against a strong US dollar. The UK economy grew by 1% in Q4, missing market expectations of 1.1%, leaving sterling little changed against a dominant US dollar.